Monday morning, ladies as well as gentlemen. Papa Boris is back for some more Hearthstone Arena action. We're doing a run with Rogue here. The first game was a very frustrating one against a mage, and I had the win, but she had the Flame Strike, and so I lost. And then we played against a priest who pretty much rolled over. He could have won with enough mind controls. He could have definitely stayed in the game with one, but he seemed to have none. He also seemed to have no Holy Novas. So, no Holy Novas, no mind control, no victory for the priest. Brand new player. Wouldn't that be nice? We have been seeing a few of those more often than not. Humming the Shaman. And there's a Stampeding Kodo. Haven't seen that in a while. I'm actually going to keep a slow start here. Well, yeah, I'm going to keep a slow start. So if my opponent has a very fast curve, he'll win. But the reason I'm keeping the slow start is that Kodo is nice against Shamans. It can pick off taunt totems and whatnot. And that Boulderfist Ogre just is determined to make it into my hands. Yeah, this is definitely a very, very, very slow start. So hopefully my opponent doesn't have anything quick. And of course he does. Great. Well, 2 more turns until Senjin Shieldmaster. Oh man, you know what? I'm going to hang on to this dagger. I might need it to stave off the inevitable. Hopefully he's just going to totem up, and hopefully it's not a taunt totem. Uh-oh, he's fingering something. He's looking at his cards like he's got more to do. Oh, Jesus, could be one of those games. Well, those are the risks I took, keeping my good cards. And then I drew 2 6-drops in a row. Not very likely, but that's what happened. And now I'm about to pay the price.
Put this apple on your head.
A Perdition's Blade would actually get me back in the game. Perdition's Blade would actually allow me to shoot the Worgen and then kill the Knife Juggler. My opponent's actually going to keep the Worgen in stealth. I don't agree with that plan. I'm going to just play this guy. It's not wasting anything. I am just trying to stay alive until I can play all these good cards. He's going to trade the Worgen from the Ringleader, so basically he didn't want me to dagger on the Worgen. Alright, fair enough. He's got a Tauren Warrior. Oh my god, I'm always 1 turn away from playing the Kodo. The Kodo would be so amazing here just to blow that thing up. Well, we're going to have to content ourselves with the Senjin as I draw yet another 6-drop. I mean, if I can live in this game, I'll be totally fine. So the Senjin does own the board pretty hard here. My opponent, well, Shamans would really need like a Hex on this to do it. Or, wow, he's got a lot of chunk. Oh, Jesus Christ. Why is everything hitting this engine? Stop. Oh my god. Thankfully, whew, that is very fortunate. So I'll get to actually kill off this Berserker after the Kodo kills something at random. Now, I could play this engine for like extra protection, but I think the Kodo to kill off one of these army creatures is going to be the best. So let's see who we kill. Leper Gnome. Oh my god, that was the one I could have killed with the dagger anyway. Boo. That is lame. Well, we'll kill that thing off. And I'll just keep the dagger around. That was not the best it could have gone. So now, a lucky Knife Fling will kill off the Senjin. Shieldwind Yeti is a very unfortunate thing to see. Luckily, the knives were not that lucky for my opponent. And I mean, the Shieldwind Yeti just sort of trade against the Kodo. So it could definitely be worse here. Could definitely be a lot worse. I think we made it out sort of okay. I'm below 20, but it could have been a lot worse considering how many... Well, I'm at 17, so it could have been a lot worse anyway. Okay, so we have to think very carefully here. There's a lot of important options to consider. One is just to play the Senjin for protection. Earthshock. Interesting. To get rid of the Shieldwind ready to kill it, I guess. I can play the Senjin and to hide behind my Taunter, and then that allows me to combo out the Ringleader, which gives me threats for killing off this Knife Juggler. The problem is the Knife Juggler lives to fight another day. Unless, of course, I kill it with my Kodo. I was thinking of killing the Berserker with the Kodo, but I think the Knife Juggler is the bigger threat, so we'll do this. And I could play the Senjin and the Defiance Ringleader. Now, the other option is to use the Frost Elemental to freeze the Yeti. Meaning the Kodo will then potentially get to trade against the Berserker. I don't think I can play the Boulderfist Ogre. I would take too much damage. So, alright, we're going to go for the Hide and Bide play. There's a lot of good cards a Shaman could have. Lightning Storm would be really great. Hex to let the Berserker kill the Senjin and then let the Yeti go to town would be really great. The Tiger is also good. It's stealthy, but if he doesn't get rid of my Taunter right now, the Tiger is going to be very unimpressive. However, if he does choose to throw away the Berserker and then let the Yeti kill the Tiger, then let the Yeti kill the Shield Master, then the Tiger is suddenly very good, hitting me down to 12, which is quite terrifying. And I cannot freeze the Tiger because it is all stealthy-like. My opponent chose to leave my taunt alive. Well, so if I Deadly Poison and swing at this, I am kind of, you know, playing it fast and loose. What I'm going to do is freeze the Yeti. Do I do Deadly Poison? No. The reason I'm not going to Deadly Poison is that I actually would like to combo out this Kidnapper next turn. And if I don't keep the poison in my hand, the Kidnapper might not get comboed. So what we're going to do is we're not going to get greedy. I'm going to just get rid of the Kodo. Just to keep as much health on this engine as I can. And I am going to swing, swing, and swing. So the Tiger, you know, maybe I should have. I mean, if I had hit the 2-3, then a Lightning Bolt could have been able to finish the Shield Master off. Yikes, that's a good card. Well, that's getting kidnapped. Haha. So that's fine. You got a taunt, all things considered, that's fine. I'm okay with the taunt under these circumstances. The Defender of Argus is tempting, but what we need to do is finish this off. Finish this off. Finish this off. And then play Deadly Poison, Kidnapper, and I don't know, I'm just going to swing at my opponent. I've got 3 more weapons in this deck, so I'll just treat the Deadly Poison as a 1 minute 6 damage. I mean, it's not great, but it can also let me kill off totems. I can kill off like one of the 2 health totems. Okay, and a Big Game Hunter, well that whiffs, which is nice. So the Sylvanas will now, of course, get to steal something of mine. Luckily, I have some control over how this goes down. For example, I could run one of my guys into the Big Game Hunter, run one of my other guys into Sylvanas, and then kill off Sylvanas. And then I have an empty board and all my mana for the turn. Seems like a pretty good move. Is there anything better than that? Nope. So again, it's very tempting to go like Defiance Bandit into this, and then run my Elemental into that, but then the Kidnapper would get stolen. The Kidnapper stats aren't great, but why give my opponent a creature if I don't have to give my opponent a creature? I could also Defender of Argus. I could do like a weird Defender of Argus play. Like I could Defender of Argus on the left side here, so the Sylvanas has to run into it, but she doesn't die against it. That's an option. Then I could smack into the Big Game Hunter, go down to 13, and then I would actually hit my opponent for 13 damage. Taking him down to 7. That could go all the way bad, though. Let's just play conservatively. With the card advantage that I have, I should be alright. I mean, this is a pretty good situation. Got a 6-7, an Imp Master. My opponent's got 2 cards to 2 cards. Our life totals are the same. I mean, I should win. I felt like it was a little bit too risky to leave the Sylvanas around. I mean, all he needed was like a Lightning Bolt for my thing, and then I was screwed. We've got the Hex. All things considered, I don't mind, because it's 1 card for 1 card. And since I am, you know, in the lead, that's fine by me. Yeah, we'll do the South Sea Deckhand to kill off the Totem. Let's just go ahead and play the Defender of Argus. Like this. Lots and lots of taunts, and we'll just keep swinging with my dagger. So next turn I have a Lightning Storm would clear just about everything, but barring that I've got 2, 4, 7, 8, 10, 11 damage. Not quite enough. Oh wow, he's got the Lightning Storm. Okie doke. Well, he made a mistake. He should have definitely flipped for a totem first to see if he could get spell damage. He actually got it, so this Imp Master would have been at 1 health. Perdition's Blade is interesting. I can basically go for the throat, and I think I will. Oh, I already attacked. Right. I could have Phantom Knives first. That would have been an interesting move. Draw a card, make this combo deal an extra damage. Maybe that would have been worth it. Doomhammer. Uh-oh. Well, luckily for me, he's at low life, so if he's going to be Doomhammering my creatures, I'll be okay. But I am kind of low on life here. So that's something to watch out for. It's going to preserve the life. Although that was actually a mistake. That was a stone cold mistake. I mean, this Imp is going to be hitting him, so he should have just killed it. Maybe he thought the Imp was going to run into the totem. but probably not. Alright, let's go ahead and Fan of Knives to draw a card. Stormwind Knight. We can play that next turn. Let's first of all play this thing. So, I'm threatening the win. He needs to put Taunt on the board and or get rid of my creatures to hang on. I've got this in my back pocket, so if there's no incoming Taunt, that's not going to do it. This guy will give me some extra insurance damage. He does not flip a Taunt Totem. He flipped a lot of these this game. You know, had he flipped it on that one turn that he Lightning Stormed, the Imp Master would have died. He wouldn't have had to Doomhammer it. Because the Imp Master was left at 2 health, it would have been left at 1, otherwise it would have died. Yeah, he might have actually won this game if he had flipped the Totem first. Not just on the principle that you should always flip Totem before Lightning Storm, but because it actually mattered that time. He actually did flip the Spell Power Totem, and it actually would have made a difference. So anyway, that was a good game. My opponent made 2 very crucial mistakes that I think were sort of, you know, novice player mistakes. One, he didn't flip before Lightning Storm, and then number 2, he didn't Doomhammer my Imp, and that allowed me to win. Otherwise, the game, I mean, I could have won anyway, but the game would have kept on going, basically, if he had made those plays correctly. Alright, we're up to 2-1. I think it's been a while, actually, since I've been at like 3-0 or 4-0. The field is getting harder, or maybe Papa Boris in his old age is getting rustier. Who knows? Who knows what the truth is? Let's see, though, who our opponent is. Hopefully no more priests or mages. Someone commented made an interesting comment on one of my videos recently. He asked me if I thought there was going to be any changes to the mage class. And it's interesting because then I looked at my stats, and my mage is one of my best classes, but it's not like my absolute best. It's below priest, and it's below shaman. And it's not like that far above some other classes, like paladin, in terms of average wins. So, I don't know. I think I don't do, like, ball-breakingly well with mage, and against mages I do okay. I do probably like lose more than my fair share of games against mages, but I still have like a decent win rate against them. We've seen me beat them enough times on this channel. So I don't know if mages need to be nerfed, but I would consider changing the hero ability to only target minions, because it's just so amazing. Like that is the only class, mage is the only class in the whole game that can deal a damage to any minion on the board and not take damage back. Druids and rogues can attack minions, but A, they take damage back when they do so, and B, if there's a taunt in the way, they're stopped. So mage's ability to just pick up minions over time is so incredibly good. I think that it should not be able to also target the enemy hero. Alright. Well, there's really not much point in attacking this, I don't think. Basically, I'll attack it next turn with my Worgen and then use my dagger. So it's not making much of a difference. If I had attacked it with the dagger now and my opponent didn't heal it, I could have attacked with the dagger again, then used the Stormwind Knights. But the Stormwind Knight's not really what I want to play next turn. I really want to play the Sen'jin because it's a bit harder. It hits harder. And I'm happily trading the charge for an extra point of damage and the taunt. So if my opponent cannot Shadow Word Pain on this Worgen, then this will have been a very unimpressive shield bearer. He still has his coin. He could play like a Chillwind Yeti or a Sen'jin. Acolyte of Pain, alright. Well, had I hit this with the dagger last turn, this is interesting to note. Had I hit it with the dagger last turn, I could hit it with the dagger again, use the Stormwind Knight to finish it off, and then kill off the Acolyte of Pain before it could do anything else. It's an interesting thing to consider for the future. Because I was thinking, well, it doesn't matter if you... I was thinking it doesn't matter if I attack with the dagger because the priest can heal it, but the priest might have wanted to do something other than heal his shield bearer. And then I could have, I could have killed the Acolyte of Pain, turned on a Wind Fury, and been at 4 power where it's immune to Shadow Words. So, yeah, that was potentially a mistake. So now my opponent can, of course, throw the Acolyte of Pain into the shield bearer to draw a card. That is what he should do if he does not have some way to stop this Worgen from killing the Acolyte of Pain and turning on Wind Fury, because you don't really want your Worgen being able to do that. It's interesting that Sap is returning an enemy minion to its owner hand. I wonder if it really would be broken if it could target any minion, including your own. My opponent seems not to be aware of taunt. Now, of course, you know, anyone could like click on a creature and point past, but generally when people do that, I assume it's because they're new. Now, one thing I could do here is I could actually play the Stampeding Kodo to kill off the Acolyte of Pain. That stops the card draw, which is something to consider. Definitely something to consider doing. The other option is to just, kill the Acolyte of Pain, turn on Wind Fury, swing for 4, swing for 3, take him down to 23 life. And it's an option. This engine is going to die because the tiger's going to kill it, and there's nothing I can do about it. Then he can also heal the tiger. Oh my god, that's so freaking good. Well, what I can do then is maybe heal... Oh no, there's just no good way to do it. I could just waste the heal on this, I suppose. Play the Perdition's Blade comboed, shoot the tiger for 2, hit it again. It sucks that I have to play my healer to trigger the combo first, but that's just life, I guess. I'm gonna trust my instincts. I think this is good. It doesn't turn on Wind Fury, but it keeps my Worgen above Holy Smite range. I think if my opponent had Shadow Word Pain, he would have already played it on the Senjin or on the Worgen. So Holy Smite is the one removal spell he could have, and I just don't want him to get value from it. So yeah, next turn the plan is after the tiger kills the Senjin to play the heal the Farseer, totally waste the heal, play the Perdition's Blade combo, shoot it for 2, and then swing for 2. Now if my opponent does not heal the tiger because he has better things to do with his mana, which is totally possible because that is 2/5 of his mana for the turn, 40% of his turn to heal that tiger up, he might not want to do that. He's actually going to silence it. I don't know what the point of that is. I really don't know what the point of that is. I think that's a mistake. Because basically the tiger, I mean, the tiger's killing it anyway, so why play the silence? I mean, maybe he's saying, well, I just got to put a body on the board. That's possible. But I just don't think it's correct to put the body on the board there. Because it's going to die, so I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a good use of the silence to me. Okay, well, here we have a very easy choice now that my opponent obliged us. All we have to do here is kill this. Now the Farseer's healing isn't wasted, and we can shoot a Perdition's Blade at the tiger and swing. I could have done a different move. I could have, without comboing, shot the Raging Worgen and swung for 8. So that would have essentially dealt an extra like 5 damage, hitting for 8, and put a scarier threat on. But I don't want to deny to Holy Nova, I don't want to deny to Holy Smite, so I figured it was worth it to just leave the Worgen alone. Lightwall is not that scary. Inner Fire, okay, that's a bit scarier. However, man, Sap is a Jesus Christ good card, because it cancels out all the priest's buffs. Now it's interesting. What if a priest mind controls one of your creatures and you sap it? Would it return to your hand or his? In Magic, it would definitely return to your hand, but I'm guessing in Hearthstone, the way things work, it would actually return to your opponent's. Okay. Well, I think here I'm just going to play. Maybe I could even ignore this thing. Let's see. I can swing for 9 plus Deadly Poison is 11 damage, take him down to 9. Still have 6 mana to play Boulder Fist Ogre, return away from mind control. That's an option. I'm going to play it a little bit safe, though, just a little bit safe. I'm going to go ahead and kill this thing. I will sap this Lightwell. And we'll just go ahead and play this guy. So I'm relatively safe, actually, against Holy Novas, because this guy actually gets enraged, since I never enraged him myself. And then my opponent only has 2 mana left. Now, he could then, of course, heal the Worgen to turn off the enrage, but, I mean, the Squire dies, the Coda dies, but this and this lives. Even if he does the healing trick to turn off enrage, that's still going to be 10 damage, and he's at 4 health. Actually, then the Deadly Poison would actually win the game. So, my opponent, Holy Nova is not good enough. He's in trouble. Sea Giant. Oh, wow! Wow, this is really cool. Oh, man. We've seen a lot of irrelevant last turn Molten Giants. I think this is the first time we're seeing an irrelevant last turn Sea Giant. But that is what it is. Swing, 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 swing. And I don't even need the Deadly Poison. GG. Limpek Chuang goes down. It's another item in our codex here. Maybe, you know what I should have been doing all along? Oh man, this would have been great. All along, I should have been tagging videos with the irrelevant last turn Molten Giant tag. It's too late now. There's way too many hours of footage for me to go through and watch all that stuff and say when there was a final turn Molten Giant. But anyway, we'll just think about it as it happens and enjoy it. So we're up to 3-1. Actually, all the wins I think were pretty easy. So the Shaman, I'm happy to see some more Shamans, not because I think they're bad, but because I'm happy that they're getting played. I think it's a really good card, or a good class. We have a Panda here, that'll be nice. Cold Blood, I'm not that thrilled by in the opening hand, so we're going to go ahead and see if we can get a Ringleader, and we do. I think there's 2 of them in the deck, so it's not like that unlikely. Now the Panda then becomes an unplayable on turn 2, because I don't want to just play it and have to put my Ringleader back into my hand, but that's fine. I'm okay with that. This is totally good. We've got 2 totem sweepers here. I'm hoping he does not flip any 1/1 totems. Although, actually, if he does, I can just use the dagger to kill it because I got nothing to do on turn 2 anyway. So yeah, I don't really care what totem he gets. I just want him to play actual stuff. Oh god, Mad Bomber. Well, here we go. That was, of course, an ideal Mad Bomber. Of course. Mad Bomber. I just hate that card. Alright, what we're going to do here is I could play the Panda, put this back into my hand, and then try to replay it later. But I'm just going to go ahead and take this creature off the board and then play the Panda. God, that Mad Bomber was ridiculously good. I mean, those bombs could have like just gone on my face and his face, and then my 2/1 would have killed the Bomber. But no, he, of course, hits the Bandit. Frickin' Bomber. I bet that guy's thinking, oh man, I'm glad I played the Mad Bomber. Such a good card. Okay. Well, here what we'll do is, in light of this totem, we're actually going to play the Worgen and leave it alive. Now, there's a risk to this, of course, that he could play a Dark Iron Dwarf and kill my Worgen. If he does, then so be it. But there's a chance here to turn on Wind Fury very profitably.
For the king!
For the king, well, he's actually going to kill the Worgen. He really respects that. Okay, fair enough. This will allow me to kill that thing off with Perdition's Blade. Let's see. I have a couple of moves. So I could Perdition's Blade, it'll just shoot for 1, then I actually have to attack it to kill it off. And then I could combo Cold Blood and swing for 7, which is kind of interesting. I could also Fan of Knives, get this down to 1 health, that's no good. I could hide behind my Senjin. Yeah, I think I'll try this. I'll hide behind the Senjin. And we'll leave that dude alive. He clearly didn't have any buffs for 4 mana, or he would have played them. He didn't have any Dark Iron Dwarves, so that's good. And so this thing should hold up. Hex. Well, that's okay. He still has to run into the frog. He's actually going to Wind Fury. Ah, well. That is fine. So basically, this guy's going to die. And I've got a clear board. So here's where I have nothing to play, and it actually kind of sucks. Damn it. Oh my god, that's terrible. Wow. I could Fan of Knives and fish for something. That seems dumb. We'll just play the Assassin's Blade, I guess, and swing for 3. The Assassin's Blade has a lot of ticks, and I do want to use them up because I've got this Perdition's Blade I'd like to play at some point. God, that was really sad. Well, my guy was going to die anyway. Unless, of course... Well, let me think. He had a Hex, so even if I had cold-blooded my guy, it was going to get Hex. So I was not going to be able to do anything good. South Sea Deckhand's a good draw. I'm going to actually Fan of Knives, though. I need to get some cards. Backstab. Ah, oh, well. Actually, Backstab wasn't really good against anything anyway, was it? Alright, we'll play South Sea Deckhand. Use the Assassin's Blade on this. South Sea Deckhand on that, so I don't want to absentmindedly click my dagger. We're just going to pass the turn. So I'm at a life advantage here against my opponent, and card advantage because he's got 4 cards, but I have 4 cards and a weapon. Spell power is not relevant right now. And in fact, that's all he's got. Ah, Dread Corsair, perfect. Okay, so we'll do this. And I don't want to put Cold Blood on it, because that's just inviting a Lightning Bolt or Rockbite or weapon or whatever. I don't also want to use my weapon just to kill these totems. Actually, I think I will. Yeah, we'll just use it to smack the totem. That's fine. Kidnapper is great, but my opponent didn't play anything for me, so that's sad. I can still turn on combo pretty easily with a Backstab. There's a 1/1 and a Harvest Golem. Ugh, lame. Stampede Kodo. Oh, that's really good. Let me think about that. Well, it's actually not really good. It's just sort of okay. Well, we'll do this. We'll smack that. We'll play a Perdition's Blade to shoot that. And this is not the most impressive use of Stampeding Kodo ever, but I just want to put a creature on the board, basically. So what I'm hoping now is my opponent leaves these alive and plays like something really, really big, like a War Golem or something, and then I can like play Cold Blood and Kidnapper and pop it back in his hand. The more little stuff he plays, the less impressive the Kidnapper is. But if he plays one big thing, I'll be in good shape. Okay, he's got another spell damage totem and another Hex. Oh no, god damn it. Play creatures for Christ's sake. Rockbite or weapon. Oh my god. Honestly, this Kidnapper I'm very unhappy with. At least in this particular game. Ah, there we go. Raging Worgen. I guess I'll kidnap that. I don't even know. If I backstab it, it's not enough. This guy's not quite enough either, unless I Cold Blood. Then he's going to be at 2 health, which is kind of sad, because it means that Force Lightning will then kill him. I could throw away a backstab on this totem just to turn on combo for the kidnapper. That seems really, really lame. We'll do it though. We're just gonna go for the throat. Yep, we're gonna do it. We're gonna backstab that totem. We'll kidnap the Worgen. We'll play Cold Blood on the frog. Swing for 4. And that. Okay, so I'm threatening to win the game. He's used a lot of removal against me, so hopefully he's out. If he flips another Spell Power Totem and plays Forked Lightning, he can actually win the game. I can only deal 4 damage to him. It's not enough. I need my creatures to live in order to be able to survive. But he's used so much removal. Like there's a Shock in there. There's 2 Hexes. There's a Rockbiter weapon. Haven't seen any Lightning, but hopefully he's out. And then I can just win. Alright, so he was probably hoping for either a taunt to slow my stuff down or for a spell damage. He got neither, which is good. He's thinking, so it seems like he doesn't have removal, which is also good. And that's the game. Alright, well, it was a bit close. But he needed to have removal for several turns in a row, and he did. And then finally he didn't, and so I won. So the Shaman goes down. Okay. Let's go ahead and happily collect our 4th win. That's nice. 4-1 isn't bad. I think this deck can make it to 7. I don't know about 9. Seems a little bit lackluster to get that far. The Kidnapper, I've played with it once before, once or twice, and it didn't impress me the first time. It's not really impressing me this time either, although there was that one game where I got to kidnap Sylvanas. No, or did I sap Sylvanas? No, I kidnapped Sylvanas. Okay, it was actually very impressive there, I have to say. That was a very good answer to a very good legendary. Vanitas the Warrior. Well, if I'm second and get a Defias Ringleader, I'm fine. I'm first, of course. Bleh. Well, we'll keep our early drops. We'll just pass that back. And the Kodo could be nice. Okay. So the question is, do I play this on turn 1? The advantage of playing it on turn 1 is I'm ready right away to kill his 2-drop. And I deal some extra damage to him. The disadvantage is he plays Fiery War Axe. It's just sad. So I'm actually not going to play it on turn 1. I'm going to dagger up on turn 2. And then on turn 3, I can actually play him run into something, potentially. If he doesn't play anything that I can kill with this, though, I will just regret that I didn't play it. Okay, well, let's actually, hang on. Let's actually throw the Panda. There we go. This is smarter. I'm going to play the Panda on turn 2. We'll see if he's got the War Axe. I really hope he doesn't have the War Axe. This hand is not strong enough to make me feel as though I have a really, really good chance of winning if he has a War Axe. No War Axe, thank the holy heavens. So what we'll do here is just dagger up, probably. Yep, we're gonna dagger up. Now I'm not gonna play the deckhand because I don't want to open myself up to a cleave, but I will poke him with the dagger. There's no reason currently to keep the dagger. And I have 1 deadly poison, which will make me regret keep throwing away 1 tick of the dagger, but I have 3 weapons, which will waste the dagger if I don't use it, so I might as well just use it. Coin? Well, it's unlikely that this will take care of it, unfortunately. Weaponsmith. Well, it's a pretty good answer to this Panda. Kodo doesn't kill that thing, but at least this is only a 2-power weapon, which is nice. I could combo that out, but what we need to do here is play this. And it's very important to get your order right. If I were to attack with my dagger, this thing wouldn't have charge anymore. So I need to attack with him first, then use the last tick of the dagger to finish off the weaponsmith. Well, I'm in decent shape here. My opponent does have a lot of cards. He's got 7 cards and a weapon. I only have 5 cards, but I'm about to draw my 6th. And I have 2 creatures here that give me extra cards, plus the Kodo might kill something, and that also is a card. So I've got opportunities for card advantage here, so I think I'm doing alright, because I've also got the board advantage. He's also used his coin, which is nice. Let's see how good his 4-drop is.
What now?
Well, he better have a follow-up plan, like an execute. Otherwise, my guy just kills it. Now, granted, you know that I have a Kodo in my hand, which also kills it, but you don't want to play this when it's just going to die. At that point, you might as well just wait and allow, Oh, I see. I see what he did. So he played the Worgen, it had charge, thanks to the Warsong Commander, and he's going to use the dagger. Okay, so he had the follow-up plan, good on him. Luckily, I have a, well, it's not a follow-up plan, it's just a plan, which is to play the Kodo and kill an amazing creature for free. So that is very heart-crushing for my opponent, I am sure. What I'd like to do is play the Defias Ringleader and then Defender of Argus, but the problem is the Defias Ringleader, I need to combo it out. So I can't play the Defender of Argus, I'd have to play it first and waste part of the buff. Okay, well, let's take a look at the situation here. Oh, this is actually, I think this is going to be good. So I have a couple of options. I could play the Silverhand Knight, combo Cold Blood, make this 7-5, and then kill the Senjin, dropping down to a 7-2. Now, the disadvantage of that move is that it puts this thing very vulnerable. It'll die to Slam, Cleave, potentially, and Execute. An option is just to play the Cold Blood without the combo, kind of plan on the Kodo dying, use the 5 damage to kill this off. Then I have the combo for the Ringleader, and then I can also play the Farseer to heal up this guy's health. I like that plan a lot. So basically, I'm sacrificing 2 power for a lot more board presence and survivability. And by the way, you should, under these circumstances, heal your creatures, not yourself. The 3 health is probably not going to matter. But the 3 health on the Kodo, that'll definitely matter. Oh, well, not definitely, but almost definitely. He can have a mind control tech here, but his chances of getting something good are very small. It's pretty much just this Kodo that would be good. However, if he did get that lucky, he might win the game. Arcanite Reaper is a decent card, but it's not the greatest card when you're behind, and this is actually a really illustrative moment of why. So he's behind. He spends his whole turn putting a weapon into play, leaving a bunch of creatures on the board, and then he's still behind. He took a bunch of damage. Now he's getting hit for 7 down to 10. I can actually play the Defender of Argus to hit him even harder. You know what? Let's just actually keep on putting stuff on the board. The disadvantage of this plan is that it makes me a bit vulnerable to a Brawl, but I will get to keep 1 creature on the board after a Brawl, and it'll be his whole turn. He can then use the Arcanite Reaper to kill off whatever else doesn't make it through the Brawl, but then I can just play Senjin, buff it up with the Defenders, keep on swinging, and I'll be totally fine. So that's an epic card, and I think I'll be fine against it. Anything else? I'm not really sure what better outs he could have with 9 health, an empty board, and facing a swarm of creatures. Warriors don't have any Flame Strike or anything, or Cones of Cold or Blizzard that would allow him to catch back up. Of course, Mages don't have Arcanite Reaper. Cruel Taskmaster is good, but not good enough. You need something more with that 5 mana that he's sitting on. Cleave is pretty good. Wow, it gets my 2 creatures, so okay, that's good, but it's still not good enough. Okay, that's good enough. So the Defender of Argus would have meant that I could have hit him for 5 damage, and he now has 7 health. Defias Ringleader, well, I think I'll just do this. We'll hold off on this combo, we'll just do this. Seems good. And I'll leave that creature alive. I just want to put all the pressure on him that I can. So he needs to deal with a lot of power and health worth of stuff here. Now he could play Brawl, and if he flips the 1 in 4 odds and the Cruel Taskmaster is what lives, then he'll win the game potentially. Because he'll have a lot of, I will have an empty board. I will have a lot of life total, but with all these cards, he'll probably be able to kill whatever I put on the board, and then he heals up faster than I can dagger him to death.
What now?
Fen Creeper is most of his mana, and it's not going to save him. I can just bust through it. And then attack for the win. Even after your armor's up. 2 of my creatures will kill the Fen Creeper, and then the 3rd creature will kill him, even with armor, and he chooses death. Well, that's a, you know, I feel like I've been saying this a lot lately, but, you know, it's one of those little pearls that I should, you know, track down and write in a logbook someday. But whenever you're about to lose because your opponent has lethal damage, don't concede right then and there. What you want to do is just calmly pass the turn and see if your opponent will get razzled bedazzled by your creatures and spend his turn trading favorably rather than killing you. I mean, my opponent could have potentially come back in that game if I had done that because he had so many more cards than I did. So it was worth it for him to at least take that chance. Now, with that said, I know that on this channel there have been times where I've conceded early. In fact, there have been a couple of times, probably, I can think of, where I might have conceded like a turn too early, and there was like a chance I could have still drawn it out. That is the effect of morale. So when you're really demoralized, by, say, like a legendary, or by your opponent having like the 1 out, or by your opponent like needing to have an answer or lose for 4 turns in a row and having the answer every single goddamn time, then, you know, you lose morale and you just want to stop playing the game. So I think that's a reasonable decision too in its own right, if you're really, really frustrated, to quit. Because, I mean, you will get even more frustrated if you keep on playing, and then that might cause you to play worse in future games. So getting out of a really frustrating game for you is worth it.
The pleasure is mine.
Okay, so this was an interesting hand that I kept. This is quasi-removal. These are sort of removal. They're not the greatest removal that the rogue has, but they're removal of a fashion. So I figured it was worth it to keep that around just so I could have a safe start. There are a lot of late game cards in this deck, probably more than average for a rogue. So I'm thinking if I can just, you know, keep it even in the early game, then I'll be able to be fine in the mid game. He's gonna coin something out, so no backstab. That's good. Or there is a backstab and a coin. No, Demolisher. Okay. Could still be backstab. There's a backstab. Blah. Alright, well the Demolisher is going to get to do some pretty good damage to me. Let's take a look. I could dagger up. Now, if I attack the Demolisher right now, I can attack it again next turn, and the South Sea deckhand would finish it off. So generally, I'm not a fan of attacking creatures if you're not going to kill them. However, here, I think it's worth doing. So I actually don't need the South Sea deckhand. I could use the Stormwind Knight plus dagger to finish off the Demolisher. Alright, Sheath mercifully has nothing on the third turn except to dagger up, which is great. I will happily take that. And now we're going to go ahead and just kill that thing. Oh, it's tempting to play the Dread Corsair, but no, we'll just use this guy. The South Sea deckhand, by the way, it really wasn't a question. There was no way I was going to play that on turn 1, because it would just die to a Rogue Dagger. There was no point just to throw it away. Like that. Well, I kept all my... the opening hand is still all here. I've just been playing off the top of the deck here. So that's kind of bad. It means I maybe could have mulliganed into better stuff, but it's kind of good. It means I still have this removal. Granted, it's sort of the weird, roguey, not the best removal. It's not backstab or eviscerate. I saw no eviscerates in this draft, and I saw no assassinates, which is a bit sad. Alright, so that's actually good. She's playing a Master of Disguise and not using its ability, so that's happy to see. But the Master of Disguise is sort of owning my board here. Well, I could make a dagger, deadly poison, that's 3 damage, and then I could still have to throw my creature away to kill it off. Blah. Well, what I could do, though, is I could do this, and then that makes this guy cost only 1. Then I could use the South Sea deckhand? Question mark? Plus this guy to kill that thing? No, that would be silly. No. What I can do is use this. Ah ha 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 ha. I use the South Sea deckhand and the weapon to kill that off, and I keep my 2/4 on the board. Yeah, right. When your opponent has a 4/4 and you have a choice between throwing away a 2/4 or a 2/1, well, you obviously throw away the 2/1. Okay, so this is good. My opponent has 6 cards to my 6, and I have the board presence. She has the play, so she needs to have a good play to stay in the game. Otherwise, she's going to fall behind. I mean, it's not like she loses if she has like a bad turn, but she falls very behind if her turn is not a good one. All right, I'm happy to see that. That dagger is unimpressive. Until she puts deadly poison on it, then it becomes a lot more impressive. And eviscerate. Oh my god, that was a really amazing turn. Well, that's what rogues do. You can't be pissed about rogues doing that kind of crap to you. They can kill your board very cheaply with good things. All you can do is be bitter about the fact that you didn't see any eviscerates in your draft. I think I only got just the 1 backstab too. Ugh, that's annoying. So yeah, this, well, I got the 1 backstab that I do have, which is nice. And this is somewhat resilient. She'll need a little bit of help with that deadly poison to finish it off. It looks like she has it. She's got something here. Stormpike Commando, that is actually probably the best way she could have done it. She puts a creature on the board. Luckily, I have backstab. It's really good. So I can backstab. Fire Ringleader. Is my life low enough that I actually won't deadly poison anything else? No, it's not. I'll pass a turn. So what I could have done there is I could have just Phantom-Knifed for a card. I do need the cards here. However, I'm going to gamble that I'll just draw some good cards. She seems to have a Phantom of Knives of her own, which is, of course, the perfect play. Oh no, Blade Flurry! Ooh! Well, it's not as good as Phantom Knives because it doesn't draw a card. Interesting. Well, luckily I kept my weapon around so I can kill off this dude. Actually, Phantom Knives plus that would have killed it off anyway. Yeah, we're going to play Phantom Knives. Kill that and draw a card. So if I don't play the Imp Master this turn, this is, by the way, why I hate... Well, I don't hate, but I'm not a big fan of this giant. Obviously, I could just dagger up, play the Imp Master, but I want this to be playable next turn. Next turn, it'll cost 9 mana. We'll go for it. It's a super risky play. My opponent might play something that I have to use Betrayal on. She might have a Sap or an Assassinate for this Mountain Giant. There's a lot of bad stuff that can happen. Dark Iron Dwarf, well, that's good, but I am going to play the Sea Giant here. Get it out while the getting is good. These 2 creatures both have a lot of power, so if she goes for the Throat and plays more creatures, Betrayal could suddenly turn into a really good card. You know what, I should have attacked with my dagger. Because I have a Perdition's Blade, so I'm going to end up wasting a tick of the dagger. She might actually, if she had any more eviscerates in her draft, I could actually very well be within burn range here, which is a bit scary. And she has, you know, her whole 9 mana for the turn, so yeah, it's just a bad situation, no matter what. Spellbreaker. So that obviously does nothing. She's just putting it on the board to have it on the board. Luckily for me, well, let me take a look. My opponent's trying to burn me out. It's going to take a little bit of effort. She's got 6 damage here. I'm going down to 3, so she needs an eviscerate. Or else she's going to have to take 3 more turns to kill me. So basically, my opponent, did she play around Betrayal? It's hard to say. I don't think she did. I think that putting the Acolyte in the middle would have been better. Although this way the Acolyte dies and draws a card. So maybe she did play around Betrayal. I'm not sure. It's hard to say. So anyway, we're going to do Betrayal. Obviously, I cannot kill this dwarf with my weapon. I think she's saying a well played because she's going to beat me next turn. But whatever, we have to go for it. We'll do that. We'll do this. We'll do this. We'll do that. And we'll swing. You know, I could have, I guess, swung with my dagger first. And then that would have gotten me an extra point of damage. But I feel like I need to hurry it up and deal as much damage as I can. So if she needs 3 damage to win, an Eviscerate would do the trick, as would really, like, the charging creatures or just about anything in the game. If she miraculously has no removal and no kill, I've got Blade Flurry. Well, that was interesting. Interesting. Oh, she's going to dagger my giant, so she doesn't have the win, it looks like. She's taking 8 damage to the face to do that. And a Raging Worgen. I see. Well, so the Raging Worgen is threatening to kill me, basically. This Engine Shield Master holds the fort. That was a pretty good top deck. And I'm actually threatening to win. So if these are just vanilla creatures, my opponent's going to lose. Which is kind of interesting. If there's a Sinister Strike or an Eviscerate in there, she could win. Although she ended up smacking my giant. So whatever she was holding in her last hand didn't do it for her. Sprint. Okay, so if she top decks it, well, it's not a top deck when you're drawing 4 cards, but if she gets an Eviscerate here, she can win the game. She will win the game. Or a Sinister Strike. Although Sinister Strike is a bad card, so she might not have any in her deck if she's a good player. She's thinking, so it looks like she doesn't have anything super obvious.
So many options.
Oh, she's got something. Whew. She fingered a card and then gave up. And then she quit without... Oh, she said well played. So that wasn't a rage quit. She said well played. It's possible that she had a backstab and messed up. She should have backstabbed this first, then run the Worgen into it. It's possible that's what the card fingering was. But she was fingering the card on the left, which was the card that she had before she played Sprint. So if it were a backstab, she wouldn't have needed to Sprint. Although maybe she wanted to sprint to see if she could draw a better answer, because backstab gave her the out anyway, and then she had a brain fart and attacked with the Worgen first. Remember, backstab can only deal damage to undamaged minions, so you have to backstab first if you're using backstab plus another source of damage to kill something. It's also possible she just didn't have anything, which is totally possible. Alright, I'm not going to keep the Assassin's Blade. The reason I'm not going to keep it is that if I fall behind in the early game, which is possible given that all I have is this that I know of, the Assassin's Blade isn't going to help me catch up. Assassin's Blade is good for pressing your advantage. It's not good for reclaiming an advantage. Now here I think the correct move is just to play this out. There's really no point in waiting. And any removal that a priest would have, I'm totally happy to see him play a Holy Smite or a Shadow Word Pain on this. So I'm just fine with that.
Is someone injured?
Northshire Cleric. Well, ordinarily that would be a very frustrating thing to see. But it's a good thing I played this on my first turn, because now dagger plus this guy will kill the Northshire Cleric. Easy, easy move. I drew an Imp Master and a Perdition's Blade. These are both very nice cards. Perdition's Blade, even without combo, can deal 3 damage. So I could potentially kill a dangerous creature. Injured Blade Master. Well, the thing is, if I don't kill it now, it's only going to get stronger. So I have to do this, and I cannot combo the Perdition's Blade out, so I can't like swing with the dagger first to preserve a tick on the Perdition's Blade. So yeah, we're gonna just go ahead and kill this thing.
Here we go.
So basically, my opponent has a life advantage for me smacking his creatures, but I have a weapon and 4 cards. He has 5 cards. He's up to play at 3 mana, and he's used his coin. So I'd say that I'm actually doing fine here. Oh, he's got nothing. Well, that's perfect. So I could play this guy, but I'll keep him in my back pocket. I'm just going to play the bigger creature on the board. He could very well have a Shadow Word Pain, and I would actually rather see the Shadow Word Pain go on this than on this, but I do like keeping the surprise in my back pocket. What is it? Out with it. Out with it, you. Out with it. Shadow Word Pain. Ball sacks. Well, luckily that was his whole turn. Frostwolf Warlord. Ah, this is where Frostwolf Warlord is less than impressive. So, I could play the Imp Master to try to make my Frostwolf Warlord bigger next turn, but I think what I'm actually going to do is just play Ascension again. I think it's just important to get the biggest thing out there, because it will allow me to deal with the largest number of his potential drops. Are you kidding me? God damn it. That's so irritating. I can't even handle it. Well, the Imp Master would have gotten Shadow Worded. Luckily, the Stampeding Kodo is a very good draw, so we'll do this. And the weapon, although it's a bit of a waste of the blade because a regular dagger would have done just fine here, will allow me to kill that. So my opponent's still at full health. I have whacked a lot of his creatures. He's actually doing fine on cards too, 5 to 5, and he's first to play. So basically, if he's got a really good late game tech, then he survived with those Shadow Word pains. He's gonna Divine Spirit. Oh my god, I cannot believe what a good card Zap is. I just can't believe it. Well, I'm gonna do that. Now there's the greedy play here, and then there's the safe play. So the safe play is just to play this 5/5 for 5, content myself with that. The greedy play, which is the one I'm gonna make, is this. And the reason for that is I feel behind. And when you're behind, you have to take risks. The reason I'm behind is that I went down a card to play Sap. No, my opponent went down a card for the Divine Spirit. Aha, that was not actually card disadvantage. That was totally fine. Okay, yeah, anyway, that's fine then. So I guess maybe I should have just played the Frostwolf Warlord, but I feel like putting creatures on the board is good in any case. So for 8 mana next turn, I can actually play the Dread Corsair, and the Frostwolf Warlord will be a 9/9. Now, we are at Mind Control territory. That's really annoying. His life is too high for me to think about racing. And we're... God, man, maybe I've just been defending Mind Control this whole time unjustifiably. Because basically Mind Control just wins him the game. So, whatever. Well, if we lose this game because he has Mind Control, then so be it. So be it. He can steal my 9/9. Maybe I should just not do that? I don't know. Let's see what I get. Silver Hand Knight. Okay, we'll hedge our bets here. We'll just play this and that. That's still really good. I could use the Kodo and the dagger to kill this thing, and that would preserve my Taunter. It would also stop him from buffing stuff. Is that worth it? Yeah, well, it's worth it. We'll take another 5 damage to the face, that's fine. So that should be the last time I hit a creature, probably. Yeah. I mean, if I were up against anybody but a priest, I would just play this without hesitation. But because he can get mind controlled, and because he's at too high of a life total for me to race him, I can't afford to do that. So if he has mind control, it's now really, really bad, because there's nothing good for him to steal, and it would be his entire turn. Stealing a 4/4 and spending your entire turn to do it isn't good. Now he's thinking a lot, which makes me think that perhaps he does have mind control, because he's like, is it worth it to steal the 4/4? Is it worth it to taunt? But it's my whole turn. That kind of analysis would take a little bit of time, so it might mean he actually has the mind control here. He's going to replay the Senjin. It looks like that I sapped back. Or no. Oh, wow. He cured the bug. Holy cow. If you hover over the card or something. You know, when I play and people pop back into my hand, or like when I pop things into my own hand, it looks fine. So I wonder if it's just a graphical mistake, like, for the opponent. Maybe, as far as he knows, the card was in his hand the whole time. Man, Sap has been gold money cash dollars this whole draft. I just have to officially upgrade that card to good status, I think. Alright, so he's still going to play that, which is fine, because I can use my 4/4 to kill it off. Now, the problem with that is that then I'm very vulnerable to Holy Nova, like really ridiculously vulnerable. Even this dies. Okay, well, we'll hedge our bets. We're going to do that guy, and then I'll throw him in, the Squire, and one of the Imps. So that basically, if a Holy Nova is incoming, at least this guy survives. And again, can I play this? Can I play into mind control? So if he steals it, I'm dealing 1, that'll be an extra imp, 2, 3, 7, 9 damage, taking him down to 11. It's not good enough. Do I plan to Holy Nova with this Defias Ringleader, though? Nope, I don't think I want to do that. I don't. The Holy Nova would just be so good. He'd still have 4 mana left over to play more stuff, and he would kill out everything except for this knight. So I'm actually just going to hold the fort here. I think if he has a Holy Nova, he'll play it anyway, so I might as well just keep this for later time. This is the card he just drew, and he did just draw a Holy Nova. Okay, well, good thing I didn't play that. And it looks like he has nothing else. So, it might be that he's holding on to some mind controls here. I mean, he's been holding on to some cards for a long, long time.
To battle!
Here we go.
Okay. I really want this to get comboed out and then Frostwolf Warlord. But I can't do that. I could just play this as a humble 5-5. And I could also play this as a humble 2-2. I think a 5-5 is actually decent here.
The frost wolves.
And I'm going to risk it. I'm going to gamble he doesn't have 2 Holy Novas. Because the one he played was the one he had top decked. So I'm gambling he's not going to top deck another one. And in that case, this should all be good. If he does have the other Holy Nova, then he loses. But you know what that is? That is life. Yeah, he's thinking a lot on all of his turns. That really suggests... I mean, when you're have an empty board and you're thinking a lot, it suggests he does have the mind control. Oh, he was holding a Holy Nova the whole time! The ass! Damn it! He had another Holy Nova the entire time. So he played the one he top decked. I don't know if that was intentional. Or just like the greatest mind game of... Like the greatest mind game of all time, or just a coincidence. Well, we can't backstab this thing, and we can't play this stupid giant. Had this been a sea giant, I could have played it for 8 mana. As it is, it stays in my hand, and when something like this comes down a turn later, that is a huge ass deal. Now, luckily, next turn with the card I draw, I can play an 8-8, but, I mean, it might be too late. Especially if one of these cards that he's been holding on to forever is a mind control, I just lose. Because I don't have any assassinates. Ah, he spends the mind control here. So he basically, he's got the kill on me now. God damn it. Oh my god, priests. Well, he has the kill because even after I play the giant, he just attacks. The kidnapper, I could backstab something. And I still, well, I technically could live. So, yeah, let's backstab this thing. Kidnap the... This hits harder, but this has more health. This is a comes into play effect. Yeah, we're gonna just kidnap the tiger. Gonna pick that thing off. Remake the dagger. This is a dead card. It could have been, what, like a faceless manipulator? Yeah, I regret that. I regret that very deeply. Because if this were a faceless manipulator, I'd have a 6-3 on the board. Jesus. Well, he can just replay the tiger and probably win. Or he can just win right now. Well, mind control won him the game in 2 ways. Number one, I was playing around it the whole time and not playing like a warlord. I don't know if he had the mind control the whole time, or if he just top decked into it, because I played so long, but yeah, that was frustrating. So had mind control been nerfed and cost 10 mana, I would have been able to play a 9-9 Frostwolf Warlord on turn 8, and it would have been a totally different game. He never did play any Shadow Word Deaths. He might have had some, but man, he had 2 Shadow Word Pains and 2 Holy Novas and a mind control, and I just didn't quite have a good enough draw to beat that. Had I played the Charging Knight earlier, he would have used Shadow Word Pain on that, and then one of my Senjins would have lived. Would that have made a difference? Possibly. Yokio the Hunter is who we're fighting for our arena life. I really hope I make it to 7, because, man, that would be nice. Be nice to get to 7 wins here. We're going to just mulligan all this stuff, and hope for Defias Ringleader to have a nice fast start. We don't get one this time. We get the stupid Mountain Giant. Thankfully, at least we're second, so we have 2 extra cards to start with, the coin and one other one, so it's a bit easier to play out. But that's the problem, is you have to, like, hold on to your cards so you can play this damn thing, and then your opponent might do something on his turn that prohibits you from just spending all your mana to play a giant. Well, at the rate things are going, I can dagger up on turn 2, but I'm going to have to coin Ascension on turn 3. Keeping the coin just to make the giant easier to play is not worth it. Okay, my opponent has nothing on turn 2, a fact for which I am grateful. Got the Silverhand Knight, okay. Well, let's dagger up. Let's swing. If I do nothing this turn, though, I think I've been in this situation once before. If I do nothing, then this thing will actually cost 4 mana 2 turns from now, and I'll be able to play it on turn 4. Then a Deadly Shot will kill it off, but, I mean, my opponent's not doing anything to me, so I'm not, like, that pressured. Let's think about this. What do I draw? Panda? No, I'm going to play the Panda. So I'm hedging my bets. I'm putting something down in case he does play creatures or whatever. It does mean I'm not playing this on turn 4, which would have been an epic, but because hunters have Deadly Shot, it's just not a worth enough risk. And then I can just play this without having to spend the coin, and that's fine. Starving Buzzard, I imagine he's got a beast after this. So it's the perennial, which do you kill first? Conundrum. Luckily, I can kill them both because rogues are awesome. So always kill hyenas first. Then I'll play the Senjin. And I will actually just go ahead and trade my panda for the buzzard. It may be emotionally unappealing that the panda is a 3-2 trading into a 2-2, but they are both 2-mana creatures, and the buzzard has a lot of potential, whereas the panda is just 3-2.
You gotta be kidding me!
Ventricle Mercenary is a bit of a scary card, but I think I might be okay here. This doesn't quite buff it enough. We're just going to go ahead and play this, and I'm going to swing with my weapon. So next turn I can play this guy for 6 mana, so basically I can try to race. Well, notice what I'm doing here. He's got this guy, so his creatures are expensive. He had nothing for like the first 3 turns of the game, so if he doesn't top deck any cheap creatures, he's not going to be able to play any creatures. Whatever creatures he does play, I can trade off with my 5-drop. He runs into this engine, and you know, that buys me a turn. Then I play the giant, and then we can try to race. Yeah, the giant's definitely the play here. It's not snipe. Let's see if it's explosive trap.
If you insist.
It is. Well, that's a bit of a shame, because it means this giant will actually die to the Ventricle Mercenary. But I wanted to, well, maybe I should have just, yeah, maybe I should have run in first against the explosive trap to preserve the health. I just felt like I wanted to check for the snipe first, but then again, it doesn't really matter what it was. Like, it doesn't matter if that was a snipe. So anyway, this Ventricle can trade against my giant, but I still have the creature on the board, and I've got very good plays coming up here. Lots of good cards. So I should be alright. Yeah, that might have been, if I lose this game, that would probably be the mistake that cost me the game, because basically, had I played the giant after checking for the explosive trap, the giant would have been at 8 health, and the Ventricle couldn't have suicided, so he couldn't have, like, played his creatures out. Damn it! Oh my god, I was really hoping he didn't have a kill for that, because then the Kodo would have been able to kill off this flesh-eating ghoul. God damn it. Okay, well, here's the thing. I could play the Dagger and Deadly Poison. That leaves me with 5 mana, but all I can do with that mana is Stampeding Kodo and waste it. I really would want a Dagger, Deadly Poison, and Boulderfist Ogre, but that's not an option. I could play the Boulderfist Ogre and try to just trade against the ghoul, but the problem with that move is that basically, if my opponent has a Deadly Shot, I get screwed. So I think I am going to do this in Deadly Poison. And then I am going to waste the Stampeding Kodo. Ah, man, not running into the trap first, with it being explosive trap, was unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. So he's got the life advantage now, and he is steady shotting me pretty much like every turn, so he's potentially going to just bring me down with these steady shots if I can't keep a creature on the board and put enough pressure on him. He's got 6 cards to my equal number of cards, and he's first to play at 8 mana. So, yeah, I'm kind of in a bit of trouble here. Unless a lot of this stuff is things that die to this Wicked Knife, or unless I can get a lucky 2-for-1 with Betrayal, I'm going to be in a bit of trouble. He's gonna play that out. Alright, he had a lot of trash. Well, it's a shame I didn't hold on to the Kodo, but I think everything is fine here. Because if he's not really careful, this... Oh, he's gonna unleash the hounds. Oh, he's going for the throat. I see. He's really going for the throat. No, he messed up. He should have probably just attacked me there. So now... Well, I can't really afford to hit creatures anymore. I can't just play this and get hit for 6. That's no good. But Betrayal does not, even with Hand of Knives, does not quite allow me to kill that. Alright, well, with Hand of Knives, and we'll see what we draw. Sen'jin. Ah ha 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 ha. Perfect. So we'll do this, and think very carefully. Do I use this and take 4 more damage? I think I gotta try it. Otherwise, that creature is too good. So, he's very low on cards. It's gonna be another, like, 7 turns before he can steady shot me to death. Minus a few turns if he has burn. But basically now, in a turn, I can play the Ogre and the Defender of Argus. Of course, I'm a mana behind, because I always am. But basically, even Defender of Argus just on this is fine, and even the Boulderfist Ogre just on the empty board is also fine. It's got the Lord of the Arena, that's okay. And Harvest Golem, that's a bit annoying. Master. Well, let's actually just do this, and sit. So he clearly doesn't have removal for this engine, or he would have used it. He's just got 2 cards. He didn't steady shot me that turn, which is also good. The Harvest Golem's a bit unimpressive at this stage. He can use the Lord to kill the Sen'jin, but then the Lord is down to 2 health. So I'll be able to kill it off with Betrayal, which is really nice. He does have 8 more mana though, which could be bad. We'll see what he wants to do. He's gonna swing at me, which makes sense. Every extra point of damage matters now with steady shot. All right, that is not relevant. And I think we're gonna use Betrayal here. It seems awfully good. Then the Imp will finish off that thing. We're gonna go ahead and... Oh, I should have played Frostwolf Warlord first. Actually, I don't think I want to play Frostwolf Warlord here. Nope, I don't want to play Frostwolf Warlord. What I really want to do is just play it absolutely safe. And play Defender of Argus. Now, my opponent's best chance of winning is a Beast plus Kill Command. But if he doesn't get another Kill Command, he used one earlier to kill my Knight, then this is 5 turns away from killing me, and that is not fast enough. Because I'm dealing 10, 13 damage to him right now. Alright, there's another secret. I'm hoping it's a freezing trap. If it's another explosive trap, that'll kill off my Imp Master and deal 2 very critical points of damage to me. We'll see what it is. It's not a freezing or explosive trap. Well, it might be Snipe. It's not Snipe. Oh my gosh, is that a snake trap? Well, if it's not Snipe, freezing trap, misdirection, or explosive trap, I think snake trap is all that's left. So do I Perdition's Blade now, or do I swing with the dagger? I think we'll just Perdition's Blade right now. And swing. Okay, well, my opponent... he's got, what, 2 cards? Could a Hunter win with 2 cards? Yes, Beast, Kill Command, Steady Shot, he wins. I think that's his only out, though. He really can't deal with all this stuff. Arcane Shot is... Actually, Arcane Shot plus Kill Command would also win. Oh my god, well, he made me sweat first before conceding. That was a close game. Yeah, that error, not fishing for the trap before playing the Giant, almost cost me the game. The thing is, so the reason I made that mistake is I thought that I wanted to check for a Snipe. Because I wanted to know that if it wasn't Snipe, that it was going to be one of the other traps. But the thing is, it makes no difference. My knowledge of whether or not the trap was Snipe made absolutely no difference, because I was going to play the Giant no matter what. So if the Snipe was going to happen, it was going to happen. And if it wasn't a Snipe, I wasn't going to change what I was doing. I was still going to just attack his face. So perhaps what I could have done is traded my Squire in for his Ventricle Mercenary and then attacked with my Knight, I guess. But the problem is that if it were a freezing trap, then that would have really sucked. I would have then had an 8-8 versus a 7-6, and the guy would have been in my hand for 7 mana. Yeah, I don't know. Perhaps what I should have just done is assumed it was explosive trap, because that was the best trap it could be, and then thrown away my Squire for some extra damage. But the damage wouldn't have mattered, because the Ventricle Mercenary ended up killing himself against my Giant anyway, and the Giant, of course, had more than enough attack power to kill the Ventricle Mercenary. So yes, when I had the 4-4 and the 2-2 on the board and my opponent had the 7-6, and a secret, I should have just swung with my Squire first, and then played the Giant. And that almost cost me the game, because all I needed to do was draw another Kill Command. He used one in the game. It's not unreasonable to think he had another in the deck. M. Ferrerinhia. Okay. Well, if I can win this game, that would be just gravy. And Warlock against Rogue seems fine. Seems like a good matchup. We'll actually keep the Betrayal. The reason I'm keeping the Betrayal is that this can actually kill Blood Imps. And I do like things that kill Blood Imps. Fan of Knives also kills Blood Imps. Well, I'm prepared as balls against Blood Imps. Flame Imps! Flame Imp I am less prepared for. What I would need for that is a backstab, and I don't have it. Okay, this is actually potentially very, 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 very scary and bad. I would need him to play another creature so that Assassinate will actually, or sorry, so that Betrayal will actually work at killing the Flame Imp. I have the wrong hand for Flame Imp. I needed the Defias Ringleader. Succubus. Well, the good news is he loses a card, and I will get to kill that Succubus. So that is good news for me. Whoop-de-doop. Make sure that when you Betrayal, and you're only killing one creature with it, that you click on the right creature. You have to click on the creature that's doing the attacking, not on the creature you want to die. Now this Flame Imp got to deal 6 damage to me, at least. It might do more. I do get to coin out this guy. Never mind! I get to coin out my Senjin and hope that that sticks. I mean, It's a bit tricky, actually, for Warlocks to kill Ascension. A bit tricky. He's gonna need, like, a... what does he need? Shadow Bolt plus Mortal Coil to kill this thing. Or a Silence, of course, and keep on hitting. Sense Demons? Okay, he's drawing cards. That could be very good for him later, but for now I'm just happy it's not good for him now. There's another Flame Imp. So he's keeping the Stealth Imp and the Blood Imp in the middle, playing around future betrayals. That's great. You do that. I am going to think very carefully. So this guy's not quite as impressive as he used to be because these guys have 3 health. I could play another creature, just have it be overpriced, just to play the extra taunt onto the board and kill one of the creatures off. Basically, I'm just trying to hold the fort, as it were. The other option is to Fan of Knives to kill off the Blood Imp and draw a card. But then it's unlikely I'll be able to do anything else. Well, I'll do it though. I'm going to Fan of Knives, and the reason I like this move is that it allows me to kill off the maximum amount of his creatures from the board. And I feel like if I can hang steady against his ultra-aggressive start, he's already played 3 1-drops against me, there's a decent chance he doesn't have too much expensive stuff in the deck. Well, this is actually very sad because a Fan of Knives would have been great against it. Fan of Knives would have been great against that too. Well, now I regret everything. Okay, well, Stampeding Kodo will kill that Loot Hoarder, and it actually survives against that Scarlet Crusader, so yep, we'll do it. Good option now is better than the best option later. So he's doing well on cards, although even with life tapping and the Loot Hoarder, he's actually behind me. On the board and in cards, and we're tied on life. So actually, I guess I'm doing alright here. Seems fine. I wish I'd kept the Fan of Knives, though, because it would have been very, very nice a turn later. I could have Fan of Knives to dagger, kill the Scarlet Crusader. Yeah. Hellfire. It's a very interesting move. I think it's just a mistake, actually, unless he's got some kind of good follow-up here. Nope. Oh, he's playing that? Ugh. I think he messed up. Basically, he should have just run a Scarlet Crusader into my Kodo. It achieves the same thing that Hellfire did, basically. Okay, well, I could do Dagger, Deadly Poison. This becomes a 1-mana creature, and I can play the Panda and him and kill that thing. I mean, there's other plays here, but that just seems really good. So we'll do this, we'll do this. Take care about your order here. You have to first play the Panda, then you play the Dread Corsair. And then we're going to kill that thing. Just taking a point of damage is fine. Alright, well now we're tight on cards. I have a weapon and I'm ahead on the board. I'm ahead. He's played a lot of chump trash here. So I'm in pretty good shape. And he wasted a Hellfire for pretty much no reason. So that's good. Kind of surprised at 7-2 fighting someone who misused the Hellfire that way, but I am not going to complain. Alright, there's a Dread Inferno. It's a very good card. I cannot combo Kidnapper, or else I actually probably would pop this back, even though it has that battle cry. Alright, I think this is the time to play this guy. Yeah, this is the time. We're gonna do this, kill that thing. Swing, swing. Play a Worgen. And I'm actually gonna swing again. I'm just trying to burn my opponent out. Now a Hellfire would be very good here. However, it would take him down to 6 health, and then I play the Assassin's Blade, swing, and he's dead in a turn. This will take him, after the Hellfire, 1 plus an extra 2 more turns to kill me. Whereas the Assassin's Blade will take 1 plus 1 more turn to kill him. So I feel like those are pretty good odds. I can also... No, I can't combo this out if I'm playing Assassin's Blade, because the total cost is 11 here. So that's if he has Hellfire. I guess if he has Hellfire, it's really close. Okay, he does not have Hellfire, or he wouldn't have done that. So that's good news. Well, now he's in serious-ass trouble here. Papa Boris's favorite kind of trouble. Molten Giant! Oh boy, it's a free Molten Giant. Do I get to call this an irrelevant last turn Molten Giant? Well, we'll see. If he had it, oh my god, you know what would be amazing here? Defender of Argus. Oh god, that would be so brutal. Did he just top deck a Defender of Argus? Oh, thank god. If he had actually top decked a Defender of Argus, I would have been a sad, sad human being. Alright, folks. It is, in fact, another irrelevant last turn Molten Giant. 3 plus 2 is 5, plus 2 is 7. So we need to make sure we combo... Actually, we did not need to combo that out, but whatever. We'll go pew, pew, pew. And we'll get the kill ourselves. Alright. So we had an irrelevant last turn Sea Giant in this arena, and an irrelevant last turn Molten Giant. So 2 irrelevant giants on the final turn of the game. I think the irrelevant Molten Giant, though, is extra special in the last turn, because you know it's free, so it's like, oh yeah, I got a free giant, wow! And then it doesn't matter, because you die. So my opponent, I think, made a totally reasonable play there. I had 5 damage on the board and he was at 7 health, so given that he didn't have the answers in his hand, well, he was at 9 health. I had 5 damage on the board. It was totally reasonable for him to life tap and see if he could get an answer, and I think he actually did life tap into that Argent Commander. If he had had a Defender of Argus, though, he probably would have actually won the game, because he was at 7 health, and I could have shot him for 2 with my weapon, but then there would have been 2 gigantic taunts in the way. I wouldn't have been able to come back from that. Alison Costa. Okay, we're going to go ahead and send back our 6 drops, but I am going to keep this because it's sort of removal. It's expensive, and I mulliganed into garbage, but it will kill off a creature, basically, on turn 4. So if this hunter has a slow start like the last hunter, I might be okay, but if he has a fast start, I mean, this is like the slowest hand in the universe. Well, we'll take an 8-win arena, that's fine. It's more gold, actually, which is okay for me, because I have been losing gold. I have been getting a little under 40 gold on average more per 8-win arenas, but I have a very small sample size, actually. I've got like 39-win arenas, but only like 6 or 7 8-win arenas. So I don't know that my average for the 8-win arena gold value is accurate. It may very well not be. Right, coin into something. Scarlet Crusader. Oh, geez. Well, I don't really want to hit it twice with a dagger to kill it. But I will... Oh, well, I'll just kill it, I think. This seems good. So I'm using him plus a dagger to kill it, which is fine. It's as if this were like a... I mean, basically, given what just happened there, it's as if that Scarlet Crusader were like a 3-4. Or no, a 3-3. Yeah, it's as if it were a 3-3. So it's fine. Loot Hoarder. Oh man, I'm really happy to see that he didn't steady shot me, and I can just kill it with the dagger. I don't think I even want to use this guy to kill that thing. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this, so I'm not using removal. And now if he plays another chumpy creature, I can Stampede and Kodo it, which is a little bit perhaps more likely than average against a hunter, because turn 4 is where they might be playing the buzzard they've been holding on to, like buzzard something else. And then the Kodo can kill the buzzard at the very least, or the other thing. In another interesting announcement is that the Starving Buzzard is going to get nerfed to be a 2-1 instead of a 2-2, which I find a little bit weird, because basically it's already correct to play the Buzzard at the time when you can also play a whole bunch of other creature beasts with it. So you already don't want to be playing it early in the game. And now the Buzzard's just getting worse against rogues, mages, and druids, because you can't even play it on turn 2. So was it really that strong that its health needed to be nerfed? I mean, in the 1-turn kill combo deck for hunters, the Buzzard doesn't get played until the turn you kill them anyway, so the life is totally irrelevant. That's one of the more mysterious nerfs that Blizzard put out. I'm not saying it's necessarily wrong, but I do find it kind of odd. Explosive Shot. Wow, he's spending his whole turn to not even kill my board. I guess I'll accept that and be very happy with it. And this Kidnapper is interesting. I mean, on the one hand, I don't have anything cheap to help get the combo out, and you really do need to combo him out or he's just awful. But on the other hand, it means that all the cheap stuff is still in my deck.
Ready, sir.
Now, the Defias Ringleader isn't my favorite way to combo a Kidnapper, but I will take it. And that's not for another 2 turns, unfortunately. So we'll see what my opponent does here. He's got to have something important, or else he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Multi-shot. Well, it's not really good enough, especially if it doesn't kill my creatures. I mean, he only had a 1 in 3 chance of killing 2 things, but if he has an explosive trap to back it up, these 2 will both die. Uh-oh. No explosive trap for my opponent here. Well, I think I'll just play Defender of Argus. It makes the Squire survive explosive trap at least. Swing, swing. And I'll play this. Oh, jeez. I want to keep this around, though, so I can combo out the Kidnapper. Do I play this thing? I think I'll actually just go for it. Yeah, we'll go for it. I have an Assassin's Blade behind this, so I don't mind using it up. But yeah, yeah, I think that's a good move. We're threatening to win. Hunters aren't the greatest at dealing with the board like this. Explosive Trap doesn't really cut it. He'd need like a Freezing Trap and an Explosive Trap to really have a chance. Even then, this guy can essentially waste the Freezing Trap. Yeah, he needs a really, really, really good card here. Animal Companion? Well, that's a good one. It'll let him kill one of my creatures right now, which is good for him. Another explosive... No, kill command. Okay, I see. So this was, all things considered, pretty decent. And I have nothing to kidnap. If this had been like the taunting bear, that would have been awesome. I could have just defy string leader, kidnap, kill him. Well, this seems like an obvious move. We'll just do this. And again, I'm swinging with the weapon not because in general I would swing with Perdition's Blades, but because I have an Assassin's Blade behind it. And also because I'm racing. Wow, this... If I win this game, this will probably be like one of the easiest games of the whole run. I think I had like a newbie earlier on that was easier than this, but it's kind of interesting that I'm getting like the easiest game, one of the easiest games of the run against my final opponent. Now, he could actually stay in this game if he deals with this guy. He should have done this first because it's card draw, and you always want to draw cards first. So 50-50, had the 50-50 deadly shot hit the Defender of Argus, then the 8-8 would have won the game. But as it is, I win the game anyway, because Assassin's Blade is a pretty good card. Alright, that's it. I didn't even need to use the Kidnapper. How sad. So, we have one of our easiest games for the 9th win, which happens a lot. I mentioned in a previous video that I seem to have a statistically unlikely number of 9-win arenas compared to 8 wins. And one commenter pointed out, actually, that this might be because of the cap at 9 wins. Like, after this upcoming change, after this upcoming patch in December, when they increase the arena maximum to 12 wins, you know, if you look at all my 9-win arenas, it's possible that a lot of them will spread out. I think, though, there is still a chance that there's something wacky going on, though, because I've had a lot of arena runs where the 8th, or where my 9th win, basically, is super easy, so I just wonder why that is. You'd think that if you're having hard games at, like, 4-1, or 6-2, or where you're seeing the tough opponents, like, why the last game is always so easy. Could also just be randomness, who knows. Anyway, that went to 9 wins, and I'm kind of surprised. We did lose the first game of this arena, so I'm happy about that. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and or subscribe if you did, and if you want to stick around, because you just don't ever want the good times to end, let's commence Papa Boris's Happy Fun Time bonus hour. We have... is that a golden? We have a golden Shadow Flame, and this is a new one. I have not gotten a golden version of this before. This is 190 gold, which is also a decent amount of gold. Let's take a look, see what's in the pack. You know, at this point, I'll settle for anything new, even like a new common. Fine. I'm not sure how many more commons there are, but I think there are some commons I don't have yet. Pretty sure I have all this stuff. Yep, that was a duplicate pack. It's so sad when your arena prize is 40 dust. But that's what it is. So let's go ahead and take a sneak peek at our next arena. Shoop. And it's going to be Rogue, Mage, or Hunter. Alright, probably Hunter just because I have so few Hunter arenas, and I did play Mage and Hunter somewhat recently. I think, was the Mage longer ago than the Hunter? I think actually the Mage was more recent. So yeah, we'll play the Hunter here to balance things out and to try to get an equal number of the different classes videos up on this channel. Well, thank you once again for watching. Please like and or subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I shall see you again soon.